Hey YouTube. Okay, I think I mentioned in one of my previous videos that this 535i, it's a 2011 N55 engine, has 129,000 miles on it. And when I actually picked up this car, we went ahead and replaced the valve cover gasket. I did the oil filter gasket housing as well as oil cooler housing gasket. And in doing so, we had to take the intake off, and I noticed there was quite a bit of buildup on the intake valves. For some carbon buildup and all that blow by. So I'm going to go ahead and install a oil catch can. Went online, found a cheap oil catch can. So I think it ran about 25 bucks, and we're just going to give it a shot and see how that works out for us. So the first thing to do, catch can installed, we're going to remove the heater element right here, which is just takes these two bolts being removed here, as well as remove the connection coming from the valve cover. It actually has 4 clips on it. If you can see here, there's 1, 2, 3, and there's one on the below. All of those have to be released at the same time so that we can actually disconnect that connection. So we're gonna go ahead and take that off now. And then we'll probably run down to O'Reilly's or one of the local auto parts store and pick up some 3/4 inch hose to connect that. Okay, so first we're gonna get in here. We're gotta disconnect this connection here. Below that, this is a T25 screws or bolts that need to be removed here. So it looks like one of the hardest or most aggravating parts can be just trying to get these clips off all at the same time. I just broke one on that far side. It does look like it's gonna come off now, hopefully, but it is frustrating. And like I said, it does, with it being as many miles on this car, the heat cycling, it's old and brittle, so it does become very difficult for it to break free, in other words. So I'm not too concerned with this hose though, so there we go. Got it off, finally. And look at all that oil on that bad boy. Does not look great. Okay, so we've got it over here back on the workbench. This gives you an idea of what happened the last time when I was replacing my valve cover. It basically was brittle, broke right there in the middle. So kind of another thing to think about. To me, it made more sense to just go ahead and pick up that oil catch can than to replace this single hose, especially from what BMW parts cost. I would rather have the oil catch can and be able to reduce some of that blow by on the intake side. So, but now we're going to get this apart. The best way to do that is with a heat gun. So I've got my trusty heat gun here, and we're going to get at it. So I'll update you guys here shortly. There we go. There we go. So that's what we needed right there. Got that off, and then we're just going to have the 3/4 inch hose just slides right on top of that. The videos I've seen on this state that it does not actually even need any type of clamp, hose clamp for that. So we're just going to reinstall. Okay, and before we run to that store, because this hose is broken anyway, I'm going to take the opportunity to see if we can't remove this end of it as well too, just to see if it gives us that same size connection. There we go. And yeah, we've got a nice connection there. So what we can do is actually, honestly, these 2 clips are enough that we can, when I clip this back into that valve cover, they will hold, and that gives us a nice connection to put our line back to the oil catch can on. So we'll use that as well too. Okay, so this is the oil catch can kit that I got off of Amazon. It took only, 2 days to get here. Has the dipstick so that you can actually see how much collection you have, how much blow-by you have there in the can without having to completely remove, depending on installation. And what you'll see here is everything is actually really nicely done, really nicely put together. Okay, and we're back. So I was correct. It was a 3/4 inch hose that we needed for this. And what you'll see here is I did disconnect this again. Or took the bolts out for this again, because I was trying to mock up how I'm going to have this connected, so we kind of can know what we need to do as far as cutting our hose. Okay, so this isn't truly a difficult install. The longest thing for me right now has just really been trying to make sure that I find out the best place to mount my oil catch can, as well as determining the best way to run the hoses here. And I think this is going to work best for me right now. Try to clean that up. What I did find is I have some of this metal here. I can't think of what, I don't know how thick that is, but I just found this. I'm gonna put a little bend in it, as you can see here, chop it off, and then I'll be able to run some holes through here to mount my my oil catch can. I think I'm gonna mount it right over here on the side of the engine bay. So I'll have that probably cleaned up here in a minute. Okay, we're back on the workbench. Got my little bracket cut up and made. I may lay down a little bit of black paint on that if I have some extra, but that'll kind of mount up here. Will give me a spot to mount that to the body of the BMW, and we'll be good to go. So we'll show you what that looks like here in a moment. All right, so this is our finished product. We've got our lines coming to our oil catch can. That's our in, our out going back over into the intake. You can see where I was able to mount the bracket and the oil catch can. What's funny is I didn't even actually have to drill a hole. I was able to take advantage of a hole that was already there, and there was actually a pre-existing slot. So I just used the little bracket that I created to mount that right there. So actually gives it a pretty clean look. And with a little bit of work, it doesn't 100% come in and cover. But if we see here with our engine cover, slide that in place, it actually is on there. One of them is down tight. The other one on this side here isn't completely tight, but definitely does not have to be modified, where I've actually seen some of the other guys having to cut their plastic cover. So I think that looks pretty clean. So definitely let me know what you think below. Like, subscribe. I plan to do a lot more updates to this car. One thing I'm trying to determine if I'm going to be able to get on video or not. I do have a slight oil leak. I believe it's coming from the oil pan gasket. So I was thinking about doing a DIY and doing a recording of that, of replacing that oil pan gasket. So if that's something that you guys would like to see, again, comment, let me know below. Thanks. We will talk to you guys later.